Resin Petri art is a captivating art form. It mimics the fascinating patterns found in microscopic Petri dishes. Artists use resin, alcohol inks, and other pigments. These create stunning organic designs. Each piece is unique and mesmerizing. This guide provides a step-by-step approach. Learn the techniques to create your own resin Petri masterpieces. We'll cover everything from basic materials to troubleshooting tips. Resin Petri art is surprisingly easy to learn. With a little practice, you'll be creating beautiful, one-of-a-kind art pieces. Let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe and like to help keep this content free. Before starting your Resin Petri art journey, gather the necessary materials. This preparation step is crucial for ensuring a smooth and enjoyable creative process. Having everything on hand will make the process smoother and more enjoyable. It allows you to focus on your art without interruptions. Resin. Choose a high-quality, clear-casting resin for a crystal-clear finish. The quality of your resin will significantly impact the final appearance of your artwork. Hardener. This is essential for curing the resin. Make sure it's compatible with your chosen resin. The right hardener ensures your resin sets properly and achieves the desired hardness. Silicone molds. Petri dish-shaped molds are ideal, but you can experiment with other shapes too. Different molds can add unique dimensions and creativity to your pieces. Alcohol inks. These inks create vibrant, flowing effects in resin. They are perfect for adding dynamic colors and patterns to your artwork. Pigment pastes. Add concentrated bursts of color and opacity to your designs. These pastes are great for achieving rich, solid colors and intricate designs. Isopropyl alcohol. Used for dispersing inks and creating cellular patterns. It helps in achieving those beautiful organic effects that make resin art so mesmerizing. Heat gun or torch. This helps eliminate bubbles in the resin. Bubbles can ruin the clarity of your piece, so this step is essential for a flawless finish. Mixing cups and stirrers. Use separate cups and stirrers for resin and pigments to avoid cross-contamination. Proper mixing tools ensure your colors remain vibrant and true. Gloves and mask. Safety first. Protect yourself from resin fumes and potential skin irritations. Always work in a well-ventilated area and follow safety guidelines to keep your creative process safe and enjoyable. Creating resin art requires a clean and well-ventilated workspace. This ensures your safety and the quality of your artwork. Choose a well-ventilated area. Resin fumes can be strong, so proper ventilation is crucial. Cover your work surface. Protect your table or countertop with a silicone mat or disposable plastic sheeting. Gather your materials. Have all your supplies within easy reach before you begin. Wear protective gear. Don't forget your gloves and mask to protect yourself from resin and fumes. Organize your workspace. A clutter-free workspace will make the creative process more enjoyable. Mixing the resin correctly is crucial for a successful outcome. Follow these steps to ensure your resin cures properly and beautifully. Measure the resin and hardener accurately. Use the ratio specified by the manufacturer. Pour the resin into a clean mixing cup. Add the hardener to the resin. Stir slowly and thoroughly. Avoid creating bubbles. Mix for the recommended time. This is usually around 2 to 3 minutes. Section 5. Creating the Petri effect. Now comes the exciting part, creating the mesmerizing Petri effect. This technique is known for its beautiful organic patterns that resemble the growth of bacteria in a Petri dish, hence the name. Follow these steps to achieve stunning results, and remember, patience and precision are key. First, pour a thin layer of resin into your mold. Let it settle for a few minutes. This initial layer forms the base for your design and ensures that the inks will spread evenly. Next, add drops of alcohol ink to the resin. Experiment with different colors and placement. The choice of colors can dramatically affect the final look, so feel free to get creative and try various combinations. Then, gently swirl the mold or use a toothpick. Encourage the inks to spread and create patterns. This step is crucial for forming the intricate designs that make the Petri effect so captivating. After that, add drops of isopropyl alcohol. This will create the characteristic cellular effect. The alcohol reacts with the ink, causing it to disperse and form unique cell-like structures. Finally, use a heat gun or torch. Carefully pass it over the surface to eliminate bubbles. This not only smooths out the resin, but also helps to further enhance the patterns by slightly moving the inks. Allow the resin to cure completely, and you'll have a stunning piece of art showcasing the Petri effect. Each creation is unique, making this technique a favorite among resin artists. Section 6. Adding color and depth. Once you've mastered the basic Petri effect, experiment with adding more color and depth to your creations. Here are a few ideas. Layering. Pour multiple thin layers of resin, allowing each layer to cure slightly before adding the next. This creates a sense of depth and dimension. Pigment pastes. Add small amounts of pigment pastes to your resin for concentrated bursts of color and opacity. Metallic accents. Incorporate metallic alcohol inks or powders for a touch of shimmer and shine. Section 7. Troubleshooting and tips. In this section, we will cover some of the most common issues you might encounter while working on your resin Petri art and provide you with practical solutions to ensure your artwork turns out beautifully every time. Here are some common issues and helpful tips to ensure your resin Petri art turns out beautifully. Let's start with bubbles, which can be a frequent problem. Bubbles. To minimize bubbles, mix your resin slowly and thoroughly. Rapid mixing can introduce a lot of air into the resin, leading to bubbles that can be difficult to remove later. Use a heat gun or torch to eliminate any remaining bubbles. Gently pass the heat gun over the surface of the resin to help the bubbles rise to the top and pop. Be careful not to overheat the resin, as this can cause other issues. Uneven surface. If your resin cures with an uneven surface, it might be due to inaccurate measuring or insufficient mixing. Make sure you are using the correct ratio of resin to hardener and mix them thoroughly to avoid this issue. Make sure to follow the resin manufacturer's instructions carefully. Each brand of resin can have slightly different requirements, so it's important to read and follow the guidelines provided. Sticky resin. If your resin remains sticky even after the recommended curing time, it could be due to inaccurate measuring of the resin or hardener. Always double-check your measurements. Additionally, ensure that the environment where your resin is curing is at the right temperature and humidity levels, as these factors can also affect the curing process. If the problem persists, consider using a different brand of resin that might be more suited to your working conditions. Section 8. Finishing touches. Once your resin Petri art has cured completely, it's time for the finishing touches. Demolding. Carefully remove your artwork from the mold. If it's difficult to remove, try placing the mold in the freezer for a short time to help release the resin. Sanding and polishing, optional. If desired, you can sand and polish the edges of your artwork for a more refined look. Sealing, optional. Consider applying a sealant to your finished piece to enhance its shine and protect it from scratches. Section 9. Conclusion. Dive into resin Petri art. Creating resin Petri art is a journey of creativity and experimentation. Embrace the fluidity of the medium and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Each piece you create will be unique and reflect your own artistic style. Gather your supplies, set up your workspace, and let your imagination run wild. The possibilities of resin Petri art are endless.